Our next question is from a listener named Lila, and she asks, when you look back at your health journey, what stands out to you the most?
Whoa,
That's a loaded question.
Lila, that is a very
Great
loaded
question,
question, and
Lila.
it's a great question. And I'll say, for me, this is getting individualized, and it's going back on my health journey. There's a lot of things that you can do to improve your well-being. A lot of things that you can do. But what does health mean? What does the word health actually mean? It means to make whole. So you can work on your mental fortitude. You can exercise 5 to 7 days a week. You can have a business. You can have achievements. You can have good friendships. You can have a great relationship, and you can still feel empty. And that blows me away,
Mm-hmm.
that you can have all of those things and still feel empty. And for me, my health journey, I did all these things to improve my health and longevity because my personal mission is to show the next generation of Caswells, my niece and nephew, eventually when we have kids, not anytime soon, mom, calm down. But when that time comes, that we can show them that there's a different way to go about this life,
Mm-hmm.
that our life doesn't have to end with dementia. It doesn't have to end with Alzheimer's. It doesn't have to end with cardiovascular disease and a heart attack that takes your life. Like, there's other ways that you can go, and you can go peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
And to show that, well, I need to take care of myself. I need to have good nutritional habits, sleep habits. I need to strive to get 1% better each day. But anyway, you achieve all these things. You nail the one percenters. You have your own business. You have all these things going on that are great, and everyone's like, wow, this is amazing, you're doing incredible things, and you're like, yeah, and then you go to bed at night and you're like, I still don't feel fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the biggest part of my health journey, individualized to me, was when I was baptized, and that was in April of 2022. And again, the word health means to make whole, and I was missing that piece of what am I missing that makes me feel whole. And it was being baptized, and for me it was in the Catholic Church and becoming a Christian, and really practicing the faith. Like, that to me, that was a monumental point in my health journey, that I felt full, because businesses can come and go, friendships can come and
Mm-hmm.
go, books can come and go, like all these things can
Yeah.
come and go, but there's one thing that can be stable in our life, and for me, that's what I go to for
Yeah.
that. But back to you. I
Yeah.
mean, what about your health journey?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating because when I look at my health journey, I could easily go into the doctors that quote unquote failed me, which is not the case, right? They just did the best that they could with what they had. I could go into my mental health struggle of anxiety and depression. I could go into like my self-hatred season. And I think I look back and I look at my health journey and there's just so many seasons that
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through. And I'm young, I'm not even 30. Like I've been through a lot of different seasons. And I'm grateful because you speak when you got baptized. I'm grateful because throughout most of these seasons of my health journey, I have had my faith. I've been able to turn to it. And sure, there's been times I've been angry or there's been times that I've been so grateful, but I think in the midst of all of it, coming out of chronic pain, anxiety, depression, self-hatred, all these things, now being an athlete and really like a grateful and joyful person, like I look at my whole journey and I think that one of the biggest things that I turn to is yes, my faith, having people around me that supported me, but also forgiveness. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we can, health being to to be whole. I don't think we can be whole without forgiveness. Both extending forgiveness as well as accepting and receiving forgiveness because and you helped me with this, but I didn't realize that I was probably holding on to some anger towards these doctors. I think I went to like 10, 12, if not more doctors for my injuries and all these things. And I went through and I went back to find each doctor's name that as much as I could, or I visualized like the room that I was in when I saw these different doctors and I truly extended like forgiveness to them. But then I also look at like friends who've hurt me and if or like, boys that hurt me in high school, like things like that, that like whatever, I'm over it, but like have I truly like forgiven
Hmm.
those things and truly like going back to forgive those situations. But I even went through a season of like, Brandy, you're Christian. You love the Lord. Why the heck are you struggling with these things? Like, you should be fine. And so I had this, like, whatever, like, this, like, uh, self deprecation. And I had to forgive, like, myself. And I had to
Hmm.
be gentle with myself. And also allow myself to receive the forgiveness of, like, for us as Christians, like, God forgives me, and like truly receiving that rather than like almost rejecting it.
Hmm.
And I could go on and on about forgiveness. And I think that some people, they don't want to forgive. I think people don't want to forgive because it scares them, but and I think people don't want to forgive because in order to forgive, there are times you do have to like go back into those memories, which is hard. Like, I'm not saying forgiveness is an easy thing by any means, but if you truly want to be whole and you are, you're working out, you're doing all the other things, right? Like you're eating well and whatever health you need to list, and you know what it is. But if you don't add like true forgiveness to yourself and to others around you, I think then it's hard to really say that you're pursuing an authentic whole health journey.
Hmm.
You're pursuing some sort of a health journey, but to really have the wholeness, I think you do need to have a level of forgiveness.
Yeah. There's so much there, and I won't go too much into it, but a lot of people that we work with or have worked with, they've spent thousands of dollars on wellness detoxes because they wanted to avoid actually forgiving.
Mm,
And they had to go through that step to then get to the point to go, okay, these detoxes are not getting me to where I want to be. There's no science based on what I was doing. Maybe it's now I'm ready to forgive. And to me, I understand like people have to go through these seasons, but I'm also like, what if we did that before you spent thousands of dollars
yeah.
on these things? Like now you have that thousands of dollars to put into a family vacation or the
Mhm,
renovation that you've wanted to do or to go treat yourself with something. But it's, I get it. Like it's, we don't control people's pasts and plans, but
mhm.
I'm like, man, I wish we could get to these people sooner
Yeah, I
before
know.
they spend all their money on this.
Yeah, I agree, and I think too that I just look at so many people in my life that are unhappy or unfulfilled, and it's because they have and from my perspective, it's because they haven't allowed forgiveness into their heart. And it's tough too because at this point in my life, I really just believe in mercy. Like, I don't care if someone apologizes to me. It's just not worth the burden of holding on to lack of forgiveness. And so I'd rather just extend mercy and forgiveness to someone, even if they're not, apologizing, because it's just not worth like me holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like, I really believe people are just doing the best with the resources they have. And there are some people who make terrible decisions and hurt people. And I'm not saying that like they're the greatest things in the world by any means, but it's not my job to judge them.
Mm-hmm.
It's my job to love and to be merciful and forgive. And I hope that people listening, and I hope that more clients that we work with in the future can be more open minded about forgiveness, because I really do think it's the key in the health journey. And it's hard, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, out of everything, it's worth it. And so, I don't know, I could go on about it, but
Yeah, no, and they're stepping stones to forgiveness. You know,
yeah.
you can't just hop right into forgiveness. Similar to like, you can't just hop into an Olympic lift. There's steps that you need to
Yeah.
achieve to then get to that bigger thing. And forgiveness is that Olympic lift. It's
Mhm.
complex. It's difficult to do, but there's gratitude and there's other things that we use to really progress the person to get ready for that step
Mhm.
of forgiveness.
For sure, for sure. So, Lila, thank you. Thank you for that beautiful question about our health journey. And I just want to encourage our listeners, wherever you're at in your health journey, whether you're at forgiveness or you're not, whether you have added a spiritual health component or not, maybe just ask yourself, how can I be intentional with my health journey today? How can I pursue wholeness today? And I think that if it starts with a daily recognition of how to pursue wholeness, your journey is going to look beautiful.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just stick with it.
Yeah.
You got to stick with it.
Yeah.